game plan. I'm going to leave a couple parts of that, but our team is a primarily running first team, and that's where we plan on heading in the first part of the game, is straight to the ground and see if we can get that ball moving on the ground a bit. We do have a pretty good passing game, but it runs a near second to our run game. And the other thing that you will see, our defense will be aggressive. We will go to every single whistle, and nothing unusual in football, but in women's football it's extremely important, and that's what we do. What I'm expecting to see from the Comets today is a lot of passing. This team seems to have some really good receivers. Number 2 and number 12 from their team are really good ball players. Their quarterback does well staying in the pocket and throwing, and the offensive line gives them plenty of time most of the time. So we will be looking forward to seeing a lot of the passing game today. Our defense will be doing their best to shut that down for them. We did go undefeated this season, and I'll tell you the biggest thing that happened to us this year is we were able to overcome adversity. In women's football, that is the name of the game. We started the season off with 55 players, and we worked through the whole season. We still have 45 because girls worked their butts off and did what they were supposed to do to make it to this point. We had trips that got broken up by bad travel plans. We got things like having to come to Vegas twice in 2 weeks, that kind of stuff. Right after going to Des Moines, Iowa, we always made it through. We overcame the adversity.
This is going to be the first time we've played the Lone Star Mustangs. From Columbus, Ohio, we're a football-rich country, and we'll play anywhere. Well, some of the things that made us undefeated, one is our practice regimen. We practice 3 times a week. We start in January. We make a commitment to doing the things right fundamentally, and our organization we're built on, I hate to use the word, but we have a system of love on the team, and we think love can take these things a lot farther. Teamwork is our biggest thing. We're not the biggest people, we're not the fastest, but you put us all together, it makes us a great team. Well, I know with the Lone Star Mustangs, they look like they're a very powerful team, look like some big people over there. We're probably going to try to use speed and quickness to try to eventually come out with a victory. Our mainstay, once again, is team defense, team offense, and no one's bigger than a team, and we're going to see if we can put 11 people on 11 and see if we can come out a victor.
Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the second annual All-Star National Championship for the WFA, which is a premier women's professional football league in America with 41 teams competing for a national championship every year. The number 1 defense versus the number 1 offense, the Columbus Comets out of Ohio and the Lone Star Mustangs out of Dallas, Texas. It's going to be a high-scoring, hard-hitting football game. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Aardvark Video and TSB Television proudly present the WFA National Championship. I'm Mike Eden, and we've got a great matchup for you today featuring 2 undefeated teams, the Lone Star Mustangs and the Columbus Comets. We come to you from the hot and steamy desert in Las Vegas, Nevada. Both teams undefeated, and you saw in the open, very powerful offense and defense on both sides. You see on the screen, 5 points allowed per game by Columbus, 6.2 for Lone Star, but a high-powered offense on both sides as well. They love to run the ball. They score a lot of points, and so it could go either way. We could have a high-scoring assault or a defensive battle. Kind of a football version of a pitcher's duel? We don't know, and that's the great thing about it. It's unpredictable. We have no idea what's going to happen, but we both know, you at home and myself, that we have 2 great teams facing each other. Now, if you're wondering, well, how does the WFA Championship work? If you're new to the Women's Football Alliance, the playoff system is similar to the National Football League, except there are no byes awarded to teams. So every team that gets in the playoffs plays from start to finish. They have a 16-team format, and they have conference championships as well. Columbus Comets, winners of the National Conference Championship. Lone Star Mustangs took home the American Conference title. And just like the Super Bowl, the conference champions face off to determine the champion of the Women's Football Alliance. So we're going to get things started. Columbus will kick to Lone Star to begin the game. And here we go. The 2010 WFA Championship is underway. And a mishandled kick by Brittany Satterwhite, but she picks it up and she runs to the 15-yard line, and that's where she's going. So mishandled snap and not great field position for the Lone Star Mustangs, who are wearing the gold jerseys while Columbus is wearing the black jerseys. Now you're wondering, how did these two teams get here? Well, here you go. Lone Star Mustangs virtually unchallenged, 4 shutouts. Had a couple hurdles with Iowa and Las Vegas in the playoffs, but for the most part, marched unscathed to the championship game. The Columbus Comets, similar story. All but 2 of the regular season games were shutouts. They recorded 6 overall. Had to sweat a couple bullets, one against West Michigan in week 4, and the conference championship against St. Louis, a 21-14 win. But for the most part, these two teams have marched through without any obstacles. So it's going to make for a very interesting showdown here. And you're wondering, well, why are there so many blowouts? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But we're going to have our first play of the game. So many blowouts just because, well, the WFA is pretty new and not a lot of women know that they can play football, so the talent just isn't quite there yet, but it will improve and expand as the years go on. First play of the game, we have Brittany Bushman under center, and it's a handoff to Satterwhite, and Satterwhite gets wrapped up early. Deetra Sherwin with the tackle. So key players to watch for here are the quarterbacks, Bushman and Davis. Davis, 1,401 passing yards. Both players very accurate, very high quarterback ratings. And as you look at that touchdown to interception ratio, not a lot of mistakes for either of these quarterbacks. So it's going to take a lot to force a turnover. Lone Star prefers more of a running assault. Columbus, of course, not being challenged all season, pretty much ran up the score, ran up the yards in any way they saw fit. Speaking of rushers, Jenkins and Martin are the top rushers for both teams. Odessa Jenkins averaging 11.8 yards per carry, Martin 11.3, but both doing very well when they have the ball. Same story for the top receivers, Beach for Lone Star and England for Columbus. Both averaging around 20 yards a catch, so very dangerous players on both sides. It's third down, and Bushman throws, but it's going to be short of the first down marker to 37, Etta Maytubby. So it will be a 4th down and short for Lone Star. An interesting call early. Looks like they're going to go for it. A risky move perhaps, because if they don't convert, Columbus will have great field position by getting the ball over on downs. Handed off to Satterwhite. Satterwhite's got to get across the first down marker, and she does. And almost runs into her own teammate. Got to be careful there, Melissa Simmons. But the important thing is Satterwhite gets the first down for the Mustangs. We mentioned in the WFA, of course, talent will grow. There are 39 teams this year, and more are coming. Many more are joining the WFA from other leagues. First down play, Bushman hands off to Jenkins. Odessa Jenkins won't get far, though, and she's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of teams are joining the WFA. They've had several new teams join up to the playoffs, and who knows, perhaps the WFA can become the premier women's football league. Well, one thing's for sure, they certainly have one of the more lucrative TV deals in place. I'll explain that in a second as we have second down. Hand off to Jenkins again. Jenkins gets to the 30-yard line before she's brought down by several Comets. If I sound familiar to you WFA fans, it's because I'm the Minnesota Machine broadcaster. I'm half of the team that makes up the broadcasting crew. Jeff Williams, my partner for the Machine broadcast. We're already looking forward to 2011. And if there's anyone else out there that sees a local TV crew or station and says, hey, this would be a great thing to televise. Go out there and push for it, because I want to have every WFA team televised. That would be a great thing. We have third down coming up for the Mustangs, and it's a high snap. A high snap. Bushman trying to fall on it. She does, but I don't think Lone Star is going to go for it this time on fourth down. Dietrich Sherwin and Darnika Junies with the tackle, and you just see on the replay just a high snap. Not much Bushman can do there other than fall on it to prevent the turnover. So Lone Star will punt it, and we'll get to see the Columbus offense for the first time. The one thing, though, because there are so many teams, there are a lot of divisions in the WFA, many more than you'll find in the NFL. Low kick, and it bounces, and it's almost botched. But Ivy Ortman falls on it, and Columbus will have great field position to start their first offensive series of the game. As you saw in the open, the Comets, they love to run the ball, they love to pass the ball. They have no trouble stopping opponents from scoring, although, again, they had to sweat a bullet against West Michigan at the halfway point of the regular season. The one thing with the WFA, because it's not quite up to the NFL's level yet, they often use high school or other local football facilities to play their games. And if they can grow a bit, that could change. Maybe they'll get their own stadiums. Davis under center, hands it off to Stephanie Stevens, who breaks through a hole, and she is tackled at the 20-yard line, but we have a late flag, so we'll check the marker. Flag came after the tackle, but for the moment, it's a first down. Oh, no, now they wave it off, so no penalty. But Stephanie Stevens, on the first play of the game, gets a first down. Stevens from Columbus, Ohio, so hometown player playing for the hometown team. That's not uncommon, although you'll see a few players trek to different teams to play. I formation. Handing it off to Stevens again. Stevens has nowhere to go. She breaks one tackle, but that's all she'll get. Stuff behind the line of scrimmage. With the tackle is Casey Ray Tribble. And the Comets aren't happy about that. So a second down and long situation. And there you see the fans in attendance. A lot of them played in the All-American game earlier today. And, well, since many of them aren't from Las Vegas, well, they're not going to go anywhere for now. So they're just hanging loose and watching the Battle of Champions. I formation, Aisha Jones in motion. Hand off to Stevens. Stevens gets to the 22-yard line before she's tackled. So a third down play coming up.
Stevens with the handoff from Davis. Gain of 4 yards on the penalty. 3rd down and 11 for the Comets.
3rd and 11 for Columbus. Stevens in the play action. Davis throws complete to Clessy, the tight end. Clessy moving forward. She goes to the goal line, and it's ruled a touchdown. Columbus gets on the scoreboard first with a 22-yard touchdown pass from Davis to Kimberly Clessy. A great play action. Davis was under pressure there and finds an open Clessy in the middle, and then give for that second effort as he races forward for the touchdown. So Columbus takes advantage of their great field position early. But the kick is up and the extra point is no good, wide right. So Columbus misses out on 1 point, but they have a 6-0 lead. That is something, though, you'll see in the WFA. Not a strong kicking game. Again, the league, it's been around for a while, but not a lot of folks know about it, and women in particular haven't had the opportunities to play football like the men have had for several years, going back 50 years.
All kinds of treats down there, so if you're hungry, thirsty, make sure you grab a drink there. Also, we will be doing the Chunk-a-Duck
NFL going back for 50 years, of course, and they had the AFL as well. You've had college football, all these other leagues out there. A lot of chances for the men to play, but not so much for the women. But for now, the kicking game, not a strong suit overall in the league, but I spoke with Lisa Olson. She appeared on a local TV show called Rollin' and Tumblin'. Olson, the owner of the Minnesota Machine, she says the kickers are getting better, and that kicking game could change later on. Jenkins with the handoff, and she gets a solid return, but we have a flag. She's tackled at the 40-yard line, but we'll check the marker. Odessa Jenkins, a great story. We'll tell you about that in the second quarter. But you'll want to hang around for that. The story behind Odessa Jenkinson's life is something that a lot of folks should hear. And hopefully you will be a part of that. It's a holding penalty against the Mustangs, so the return will be called back. But the spot of the foul won't hurt them all that much. It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so they will move it back to the 46-yard line on the Mustang side. So solid field position to start the next series for the Mustangs as they look to overcome the early mistake they had. Lone Star will try again. And it's a handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins falls just short of midfield. Jenkins, the team's leading rusher, as you saw earlier, with 736 yards rushing on the season before tonight's game. Another factor in this game is the heat. It is Las Vegas in the middle of summer. It's hot, it's dry, may not be as sultry as the Midwest or the East or near the coasts. And we've got movement on the line. I believe Columbus jumped first, but we'll check the marker. As I said, it's hot. It's windy, but the nice thing is, as it is an offsides call against Columbus, because it's a dry heat and the dew point is low, when the sun goes down, it gets pretty comfortable. Speaking of the coasts, last year, this championship was held in New Orleans, where it's often muggy and hot. Here, it's dry and hot. And Bushman trips up. Not much she could do there. With the tackle is Darnika Junies. Junies out of Columbus, Ohio. And Bushman just slipped. But Junies had no pressure, no one to block her. And so both came together and resulted in the sack. So a long third down, actually 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs. Not the break they needed. High snap. Bushman will take it herself. And she gets to maybe midfield before she's tackled again. But it's going to be well short of the first down. So Lone Star went for it once on 4th down and it paid off. We'll see if they do the same here. No, they send out the punting unit. There's some more fans. Again, a lot of fans in attendance today are current WFA players. With the All-American game taking place earlier today. Clean kick. And Columbus will just let this one bounce after nearly botching the last punt. Jennifer Hull will down it, and Columbus will start their next series from the 20-yard line.
Yards on the punt. Comets will take over at the 21-yard line.
Columbus scored on their last offensive series. Clessy with the 22-yard touchdown pass. Again, Columbus loves to air it out, run it out, anything that will move them down the field. Lone Star preferring to use their running game more. As you see all the fans in attendance. And in the background, I think I saw some players from the Minnesota Machine. A few of them were selected for the All-American game, including Lisa Bastian, who was Rookie of the Year in the Midwest Division in the American Conference. A lot of divisions, as I mentioned to you earlier. Davis hands it off and tackled by Hull at the 26-yard line. That is Shelly Gates. Columbus not afraid to use their entire arsenal of running backs in their running game. And so unlike the NFL where you've got your first string back and then maybe your fullback and then maybe you send in the second stringers at garbage time or things like that, it's clear that in the WFA, if you have skills, you're going to play. So you better be ready to show up every game. Jones in motion. Hands off to Breanne Martin, the team's leading rusher, but she doesn't get much there. It's hard to run against a wall. So third down coming up for Columbus.
Comets run the ball, lose 1 yard. It's going to be
1 yard loss officially. Third down and 4.
Third down and 4 from the 27-yard line.
Martin in the backfield for Columbus. Davis, screen pass to Martin. Martin has the first down and more, and she is taken out of bounds. She will be spotted at the 43-yard line. Well, that's one way to solve your rushing problem or a coverage problem. Send out the receivers and then just make the quick screen pass to Martin. Davis under pressure again, doing well so far, and so is Martin. Martin from Dublin, Ohio, in her 7th season in the league. Martin, also the team's punter. Fresh set of downs for the Comets. Jones in motion. Hand off to Martin. Martin won't get much this time. Good gap coverage by the Mustangs. One of the players that got to her, Jonah Boney. Jennifer Hull credited with the tackle officially, but yeah, Martin wasn't going to go anywhere that time. There you see Dietrich Sherwin in the background, and you see the water that they've got. Again, because of the weather, well, in pretty much any situation, got to make sure that cramping isn't an issue, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. Heck, even if it's room temperature. Second down at about 9. Handing it off again to Martin, who's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Two players got to her, Lori Newman and Alex Harvey. So the gap coverage continuing to go in the Mustangs' favor.
3 yards on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and 12.
3rd and 12 coming up for Columbus. They converted last time on 3rd down. We'll see if they do so again. Davis in the shotgun. Play action. Throws, and the pass is nearly picked off. Odessa Jenkins with the coverage. Aisha Jones, the intended receiver. Jenkins has 3 interceptions on the season. Almost got her 4th. But it's good enough to stop the Columbus drive. So Brianne Martin will line up to punt. A lot of two-way players in this league. I'll get to that point in a second. And Columbus falls on it. Tiffany Solberger downs it at the 26-yard line. A lot of two-way players in this league. And in part, as you see the DJ providing some entertainment, it's in part because there's just not a lot of players yet. Again, not a lot of women know that this league exists, that they can come and play football. And injuries can mount up, and then you have a lot of players playing both sides of the football. So we talk about stamina in the NFL and in college being an issue. Well, it's an even bigger factor in the WFA. It's also not uncommon to see two-way players in high school football as well. But with more players, hopefully that'll change. They can stay healthier, and we'll have more talent coming into the league for years to come. Screen pass to Beach, and Melissa Beach is brought down at about the 31-yard line.
Mustangs will gain about 6 yards, 7 yards in that play. It'd be second down and 3. 37-yard line.
They spot it at the 36. So they moved the ball up a few yards. In any case, a solid gain for the team's leading receiver. As Bushman lines up under the shotgun. Play action, quarterback keeper. And falls just past the 40. That will be good enough for a Mustangs first down. Lone Star prefers to run the ball with their offense, and a lot of teams are run heavy. Not a lot of arm strength yet in the female quarterbacks. With time, that will change, but for now, just expect a lot of runs, not just in this game, but next season as well. All the teams prefer to use the run. They don't quite have a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers type arm. And we have a whistle. That is the end of the first quarter. Columbus starts with a 6-0 lead.
Make some noise for my man DJ Chad all the way from Canada, out here repping with DJ Baby.
We start the second quarter. Columbus leads 6-0 as Aardvark Video and TSV Television present the WFA National Championship. First down and 10 for the Mustangs as Bushman makes a quick pass, and it's almost picked off. Almost picked off. That would have been a pick 6 too. Tiffany Solberger got a hand on it, but could not corral it for the pick. So Lone Star catches a break. It's 2nd and 10. We talked about cramping can be an issue here in the hot weather, regardless of how muggy it is. So the players are doing their best to stay hydrated. Two players in the backfield. Bushman, quarterback keeper again, breaks through one tackle, still going, and she is tackled at the 46-yard line. Roberts got a hand on it. Kim Roberts out of Xenia, Ohio. It will be 3rd and short for the Mustangs, 3rd and 3 to be precise, and we have a whistle. I believe we have an injured player. We'll try to get a number for you. It looks like it's Lindsay Rice. That's the player down. And we see she is up and okay. Rice out of Columbus, Ohio in her 4th season. Another hometown player playing for the hometown team, but she will have to sit out for the next play at least because of the injury timeout. Back to action, 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs. Seta White lining up next to Bushman again. Jenkins in the backfield. They hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins finds a hole and breaks through. She's at the 40-yard line before she goes down. Odessa Jenkins, the team's leading rusher, as you see on the screen. Gets the Mustangs another first down. One more time. Simple running logistics. Find the holes, penetrate, and before you know it, you get a solid gain. Lone Star continuing that formation. This time it's an end around to Beach. Beach won't get much though. Good open field tackling by Columbus. It looked like Andrea Judy was one of the players that helped out. End arounds are tricky though, because it takes a while for the play to develop. So if you don't have good coverage or if you can't fool the defense, you're not going to get far. 3-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Mustangs. See a lot of fans in attendance, some still wearing their All-American jerseys. All-American game, the WFA version of the NFL's Pro Bowl. Split receivers this time. Bushman hands off to Satterwhite. Satterwhite gets to the 33-yard line, the 32. Going to say the one difference between this game and the Pro Bowl is I imagine the players here actually want to play. Pro Bowl's somewhat different story. If you're an NFL follower, you don't have to follow it heavily to know that a lot of NFL guys tend to skip the Pro Bowl. Third and short. First down easily for Jenkins, and she's got more. Works her way through Columbus defenders, and she will march into the end zone. Touchdown, Lone Star. We mentioned in the open, Odessa Jenkins, a catalyst on the offense, a 32-yard touchdown run. And she gets the Mustangs their first score of the game. As you see on the replay, found a hole through the line, then a lot of open field. You don't want to give her that because she will take advantage of that easily. In fact, Ivy Ortman couldn't even touch her. Jenkins marches into the end zone. Lone Star will go for it again. The kicking game, not a strong suit in the WFA, so you'll see a lot of players go for 2 in these point afters. Hand it off to Satterwhite, and Satterwhite will march in after breaking a tackle. So the Mustangs take the lead back after Columbus scored, so it's 8-6 early in the second quarter. So Jenkins scored the touchdown. Let's talk about her story because it's a worthy one. She's originally from Los Angeles. She lives in Texas now, the youngest of 4 children, raised mostly by her mother in the housing projects of Watts. Dealt with a lot of poverty in her early years, but always given a leadership role at the home. At the age of 8, Odessa, get this, sold fruits and vegetables. She would take them from the refrigerator and try to sell them to their neighbors, employing one of her brothers as a salesperson. Her mother said that from that point she knew Odessa was going to be a leader. As they line up to kick off, but living in the housing projects in Los Angeles can be a rough go. And in 1991, Odessa lost her oldest brother in a drive-by shooting. So then her mother moved Jenkins and one of her brothers to the suburb of Bellflower while stressing the value of education. And then Odessa and her brother Xavier became the first pair of high school graduates for their family. Odessa, the youngest of 4. Now that is something, first pair of high school graduates. We talked a lot about college, but high school, especially in a poverty situation, can be a rough go. So give credit to Odessa. Right now, we have a flag on the play. Ivy Ortman brings the ball up to the 41-yard line. We'll share more of that Odessa Jenkins story in the second half. But I do promise you, it is a great ending. As you can see, Jenkins scored that touchdown earlier, so no worries. It has a happy ending to it despite the rough setbacks that I mentioned earlier. We're checking the marker right now. It came at the tail end of that return, 11:56 to go in the second. It's a face mask against the Mustangs, so that will give Columbus 15 more yards.
Face mask on the Lone Star Mustangs. Columbus Comets will get some generous.
And speaking of Crystal Davis, well, look at her passing ranks. All but one category, she leads the league. The only one she doesn't, yards per pass, she's only tied for second. So Davis, a dangerous player at quarterback and a huge reason for Columbus punching their way in to the WFA Championship. They do say the quarterback is the most important piece of the offense. Handoff to Aisha Jones. Jones breaks the one tackle, has the first down before she's tripped up. She will be spotted at the 25-yard line. Aisha Jones from Orlando, Florida. On an end-around play, we mentioned those plays take a little bit of time to develop, but you can get some space. It can work in your favor for a big game. So another first down at the 25-yard line. Hand off to Stevens. Stevens breaking through more tackles, and she gets to the 19-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play.
Handoff goes for 37, Stephanie Stevens.
Stevens again out of Columbus, Ohio. In fact, looking through the Columbus roster, you got several Ohio natives. And 10 players on the Comets roster are from Columbus. So a lot of hometown connections on the Comets roster. A lot of Ohio natives. That's not uncommon in the WFA. These players aren't getting paid like the NFL players are, so they have to stay a little closer to home sometimes. Hand off to Martin. Martin, who can get some more space, and she falls. It's going to be just short of the first down marker. We'll see where they spot the ball, but she brings it up to the 15-yard line. And it looks like they'll spot it just short of the first down marker, so 3rd and inches coming up for the Comets. You see Lindsey Rice getting a breather along with some of the other Comets defenders. I formation. I would expect a running play here. Jones in motion. Hand off to the fullback, Shelly Gates, and she gets the first down easily just outside the 10. Shelly Yates in her 7th season out of Fredericktown, Ohio. So not a Columbus native, but still inside the state. .8:28 to go and counting in the second quarter. We'd like to remind you that at halftime we'll have first half highlights for you, and then the second half we'll tell you on how you can get a copy of this game and any other televised game from this season. First down for Columbus. It's another end around to Jones. Jones breaks through, and she brings it inside the 5. It will be second down. Columbus can get a first down without scoring. There's the end around again. It's the second time that's gone for positive yardage on Jones's side. Again, Jones from Orlando, Florida. 2nd and 3 for Columbus.
2nd and 3 from the 4-yard line.
Gates in the backfield. Play action. Davis throws, and it's caught. It's ruled a touchdown, but we may have a flag on the play. So for the moment, Plessy has a touchdown, but I believe there's a flag. There is a flag. We'll check the marker. And it's going to be a holding call against Columbus, so that touchdown's coming back. Those holding penalties are a killer on offense. The offensive line doing their best to protect the quarterback. And if they fall behind or get beat, sometimes they'll commit a holding call to prevent the quarterback from being sacked.
Defense.
Something that happens to a lot of teams, but it really stinks when it wipes away a touchdown, as it did in that case. So we'll see how Columbus responds. Second and 14 now. Oh, we've got movement on the line. This looks like an offsides call, but we'll check the flag. Alex Harvey just ran over Lorraine Harris. And it is encroachment. So that will give Columbus 5 of their yards back. So instead of 2nd and 14, it'll be 2nd and 9, but see on the replay there, I didn't see a hard count. I didn't see anything. Harvey just might have put the foot on the pedal a little too soon. Well, 2nd and 9 coming up. Hand off to Martin. Martin looking to turn the corner, and she is close to the first down marker. They will spot her at the 2. Again, Columbus can get a first down without scoring, but my guess is they want 6, especially after that penalty wiped away the touchdown from earlier. Holding call, wiped away a touchdown.
3rd down 1 from the 4-yard line.
Short field now, so things get crowded up when you get to the goal line. And it's a handoff to Gates at the deep end, and Gates runs in for the touchdown. And this time it will stand. There are no flags. 2-yard run for Shelly Gates out of Fredericktown, Ohio, as we mentioned earlier, in her 8th season of play.
Y'all make some noise for y'all Comets getting in the end zone, y'all.
There's a street feel to this game, as you see, 8th season for Gates. But yeah, we've got a DJ, we've got an announcer, kind of a street feel to this game. And we've got a timeout. A timeout's been called by Lone Star. An interesting call here on the point after. Maybe not the best time to call a timeout because the clock is already stopped. Almost a wasted timeout. But we'll talk about the offensive ranks for Columbus. You see they lead the league in scoring and points allowed, are in the top 5 in total yards and passing yards per game. 10th in the league in rushing yards, 8th in penalty yards. They're one weak spot, but they're pretty good, especially when it comes to scoring and stopping the opponent from scoring. So Columbus will go for it here. Again, it's windy. The extra point kick in their last touchdown was no good, so now they're going to go for 2. Davis looking to throw, and it's deflected. Jennifer Hull got a hand on it, and so no 2-point conversion. We'll see if that affects Columbus later on. They have not been able to score on their extra point attempts. It's 12-8 in the midway point of the second quarter.
Now I'm back on deck. So shout it, what the f you want? Heard you talking shit, but this ain't what the f you want.
Oh, we see a kid freestyling on the bleachers. Fans are loving it, even if it's hot. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm the Minnesota Machine broadcaster. We did a pilot game earlier this season against the Iowa Thunder, a game that Iowa won, but they weren't able to make enough of a gain to win the division. And so Minnesota won by a tiebreaker. Jennifer Hull brings the ball up to the 46-yard line. And here are the Mustangs' offensive ranks. They don't lead in any category. Their strongest is total yards per game, second, which edges Columbus. But when you have two teams who are in at least the top 10 in all major offensive categories, you know they're pretty good. And as you saw earlier, Lone Star averaging 6.2 points allowed per game. So not only can they move the ball, they stop the other teams from scoring. They have a first down coming up. Bushman lined up under the center again, hands it off to Satterwhite. Satterwhite breaks through one tackle, but won't get far. Short gain on the play. So as I mentioned, I am the Minnesota Machine broadcaster. We did a pilot game, and it was a lot of fun. It rained prior to the game, and it kind of scared away most of the fans. As you see, we are just under the 6-minute mark. But it was a great game. Iowa won that match. But they lost the division title. Both teams got into the playoffs and played each other again in the first round. Iowa defeated Minnesota in a game that was called by lightning. Second down and 9 as they hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins picks up a few yards and enters Columbus territory. So that game was called by lightning in the third quarter and won by Iowa 20-12. So we won't know what would have happened had that game played out in its entirety, but the Minnesota Machine owner refuses to admit she lost to the Thunder. Instead, her story, they lost to the Lightning, which is true in a sense. Jenkins with the handoff, cuts left, and will get the first down. As she's brings the ball to the 43-yard line. Iowa, as you saw earlier on the screen, was then eliminated by these Lone Star Mustangs 30-20 in the American Conference semifinals.
Gain of 7 yards in the play there for Jenkins. It'll be a first down for the Lone Star Mustangs.
Fresh set of downs for the Mustangs. Handoff to, look, there we go, we get a number there. Stephanie Wakefield, who gets a solid gain as she pushes the pile forward. The fans are certainly in attendance. In fact, she pushes them enough to get another first down.
Gain of 10 yards there for Duke on the play. That was another first down.
10-yard gain officially for Wakefield, and that's all a result of her second effort of moving the pile. And we have a whistle.
Timeout, Columbus.
Columbus takes their first timeout of the game. And an interesting juncture of the game, 3:43 left, so we're winding down the second quarter. Again, we will have highlights for you from the first half. And in the second half, we'll tell you how you can order a copy of this game and any other televised game. Gotta love the high-definition cameras that are being... Oh, fumble! It's a fumble, and Deidre Sherwin falls on it. It will go to Columbus. A bad handoff from Bushman to Jenkins, and Deidre Sherwin from Cleveland, Ohio, falls in the ball. As Sherwin knows, and there you see on the replay, she fell on it and grabbed it. I'm sure she would like to bring Ohio a championship, and professionally they have not had much luck. The Indians have gone to the World Series twice, came up short both times in the 90s, losing to the Braves in 95 and the Marlins in 97. The Cavaliers, not much luck in the NBA. They went to the finals once in 07 and got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, LeBron James is in Miami. I don't know what she thinks, but I can't imagine she's happy. And the Cleveland Browns haven't done much in the NFL, not going to the Super Bowl, let alone winning one. First down for the Comets as they hand off to Martin, who breaks one tackle, and she has the first down and more, and she's tackled in Lone Star territory. Daniela Otayano got a hand in there to stop Martin from marching down, but another first down gain for the team's leading running back. First to 10 from the 48. Martin again, finds another hole. Short gain, 4 yards.
And Martin will get the carry again. Tackled by number 4, Jennifer Hall, Mustangs. Gain of 4 yards of the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 for the Comets.
Martin from Dublin, Ohio, the only player from the city of Dublin. Second and 6. Hand off to Martin again. Martin, another short gain, but they'll have a 3rd and short situation coming up. And we have a whistle. Because we have reached the 2-minute warning, WFA, very similar to the NFL in terms of rules, so they play pro rules, which includes a 2-minute warning, so the teams will get a breather for a moment. As Columbus is driving down, trying to get more points on the board. They won't get the ball to start the second half, but they want to get some momentum as well. Davis throws, screen pass to England. England will have the first down and more, and she's run out of bounds past the 30. It also stops the clock, so
yeah, well, he's up there.
Columbus's 2 remaining timeouts. There you see your stats again. England, 442 yards coming into tonight receiving, nearly 20 yards a catch. She does not lead in touchdowns, though, in terms of receptions for a touchdown, but she's still pretty darn good. Fresh set of downs from the 29-yard line. And off to Gates, and Gates going nowhere. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Lori Newman.
Shelly Yates, she'll get a short gain. Tackle on the play by number 50, Lori Newman.
2-yard loss in the play. So 2nd and 12 coming up for Columbus. Shotgun formation. Screen pass to England. England picks up a few yards, and she's going to get pushed back. Forward progress will mark her just shy of the 25-yard line.
Timeout, Lone Star.
Lone Star calls their second timeout as they have another third down here. And players slow to get up.
Bracelets, you see them modeling them right there on their wrists. Mustangs, $1 tonight.
And we see that everyone's okay. And we see India Harrington from Columbus, Ohio, taking a knee. That's one thing, especially if a player gets hurt. You'll often see players on the field and on the sidelines take a knee as a show of respect. These players are all unified with each other, even if they're opponents. They may not like each other on the field, but a lot of them are friends off the field. One player in the backfield for Columbus, and they hand it off to her. That's Martin. Martin finds a hole. She gets to the 20, and she will have the first down as they spot her at the 14-yard line. So Columbus inside the red zone. You see your stats one more time. 10 touchdowns,
Comets fans,
rushing,
make
11.3
some
yards per
noise.
carry. And she got out of bounds, too, to stop the clock at 39 seconds. Or did they? Columbus takes their second time out. Columbus still has one more, so they can still use the middle of the field if they need to. Jones in motion. It's a handoff to Martin, and there's a flag on the play. Martin races in for the touchdown, but this may be coming back. The flag was in the backfield, and it looks like it will be against Columbus. It is holding. So the second time tonight, a holding penalty negates a touchdown for the Comets. They can't be happy about that. But they scored a touchdown the last time a holding penalty negated one, so we'll see if they can respond this time.
Mustangs have accepted the penalty as it'll be first down and 20.
PA announcers informing the crowd that the Mustangs accepted the penalty. Well, I can't imagine why they wouldn't.
31 seconds to go.
That also stops the clock. Both teams with one timeout left. Shotgun formation. Davis looking to throw. She does. And it's almost picked off. Jennifer Hull had a hand on it, but could not bring it down for the pick. Martin lost the handle on the ball. Tough break for Lone Star. That would have killed the Columbus drive and would have given a lot of momentum to the Mustangs in the locker room, but they'll try again. It's second down. The clock again stops because it's an incomplete pass.
Second down and 20 from the 24-yard line.
Davis looking to throw. Screen pass to Martin. Martin won't get too far. She does break a couple tackles, but good coverage by the Mustangs. And we have another timeout. Columbus calls it. It is their final timeout of the half. Well, may as well use it now, especially when you're trying to drive down the field. You don't carry over the timeouts to the second half. Third and 19 for Columbus. They need to get the ball past the 10-yard line for a first down. Actually, the 5. I misread the numbers there for a second. It's the 5-yard line. So Columbus with a lot of ground to make up as the Mustang fans cheer on the Lone Star team. Lone Star, as you might imagine, located in Texas. I just decided to go with a different name other than your typical city names down in Texas where you have Dallas and Houston. Hand off to Aisha Jones, and she's stuffed with the tackle. Etta Maytubby. And now we have another timeout with 7 seconds left. It's 4th down. Lone Star calls it. So 2 interesting timeouts here by the Mustangs. My only guess is that Lone Star is calling the timeout, hoping that Columbus will turn the ball over on downs and give Lone Star one more shot before they run it into the end zone. Interesting call here. And the clock does stop for change of possession, so it is possible that if Lone Star can stop Columbus quickly enough, they would have time for one play. So we'll see what happens. Columbus still within striking distance, but well outside field goal range, especially with the wind. So they're going to look for a touchdown. And if they can't get that, run out the clock so that Lone Star can't get in there. Jones in motion. They hand it off to her. Jones is going to be well short of the first down hole with the tackle, and that's it. Lone Star saying there was time left, but the referees say no, so we're going to go into halftime. Columbus with a 12-8 lead. Recapping the first half, things got started when Crystal Davis completed a 22-yard touchdown pass to Kimberly Klesse to give Columbus a 6-0 lead, but they missed the point after. Lone Star then responded with Odessa Jenkins running in 32 yards for the score. Lone Star would convert on their 2-point attempt to make it 8-6. Columbus would have 2 touchdowns negated by holding penalties, but they were able to overcome one of them as Shelly Gates ran it in for a 2-yard touchdown score, but again, Columbus missed on their 2-point conversion, which brings us to our current score, 12-8. Stay tuned, the second half is coming up next. You're watching the WFA National Championship game. Welcome back as Aardvark Video and TSB Television present the WFA National Championship. We start the third quarter as Columbus has a 12-8 lead. That 12-8 lead, the result of 2 touchdowns from Columbus. They were not unable to convert on the point afters, though. The first touchdown was a 22-yard pass to Kimberly Klesse. The second one was a 2-yard run by Shelly Gates. Another touchdown was called back via holding penalty. Lone Star got on the board with an 32-yard touchdown run from Odessa Jenkins as Columbus muffs the kick, and they're not going to get much of a return. It was a 32-yard run for Odessa Jenkins. Lone Star converted on their 2-point attempt, and that gives us our 12-8 score. Mustangs wearing gold, Columbus wearing black. Perhaps a lower scoring first half than fans may have envisioned, since both teams are in the top 5 in total points. Columbus leading the WFA coming into tonight's game. Lone Star 4th, and you see night has fallen. It is still windy out here, but temperature should cool off by now, and heat may not be as much of a factor. We have a handoff to Martin. Martin picks up a few yards before she's brought down. No one's left yet, and why would they? Very close game. You have to love the support from these fans, even though there's a lot of players in the audience today. Jones in motion again. Another handoff to Martin. Martin to the 40. Brings the ball to the 43. Good enough for a first down.
Handoff will go to number 26, Brianne Martin.
They've moved the first down chains So if you're wondering where they went, well, there they are in the bottom of the screen. The score banner's covering up that big target.
First down.
But it's first down and 10 at the 43-yard line. As there's another Mustangs fan cheering on the Lone Star team. A lot of Mustangs fans in attendance today. Columbus content to hand off the ball again. This time it's Shelly Gates, and Gates gets the ball to the 45 before she's brought down. 2-yard gain on the play. There's another fan with the shirt declaring Columbus as the National Conference champions. Lone Star, the American Conference champions. They spot the ball at the Columbus 46. And it's just like the Super Bowl. The conference champions play each other in the final game of the season. Second down and about 7. Columbus stacking the left side. Trying to get Lone Star to jump, doesn't work. Handing off to Martin. Martin past midfield, and she runs out of bounds. But good enough for first down as she enters Lone Star territory at the 45. Columbus moving the ball effectively on the ground. As we mentioned earlier, both these teams prefer to use the running game. Here you see a player from the St. Louis, 1 game away, losing to Columbus in the National Conference Championship 21-14. But that hasn't dampened their spirits. St. Louis, a very powerful team, the only team to shut out the Minnesota Machine this season. 34-0 contest there. Handoff to Martin. Martin gets to the 35 and is tackled at the 33-yard line. I talked with the Minnesota Machine owner, Lisa Olson, about that, and she said next year she was going to get one back from St. Louis. Martin again from Dublin, Ohio, running through holes. The simplicities of running when your offensive line finds a hole for you. All you need to do is go right through it. Another solid gain for Columbus. Another first down. Handing off to Martin to man again, and Martin, when he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, Maddie Williams got in there and broke that play up. 1-yard loss. There you also see Stuff Spencer alongside. If you're wondering why does the defense stand around like that? Well, they don't have to come up so much as Davis in trouble. And she is sacked. Maddie Williams with the first sack of the game. First sack for Williams it is. Just got enough of Crystal Davis to bring her down as the protection fell apart on that play. So a long third down coming up.
12 yards on the play. It's the third down and 22 from the 45-yard line.
22 yards officially. So to get a first down, Columbus will have to get the ball past the 23-yard line in Lone Star territory. There you see some members of the Minnesota Machine. Lisa Olson up on top with the orange mohawk. You see Lisa Bastian there and Samantha Byram. Bastian, again, the American Midwest Division Rookie of the Year. Machine knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, as they like to say, by Lightning in 20-12 loss to Iowa, as we mentioned earlier. And now we have a flag.
Penalty flags on the field.
We'll check the marker. We should note that there is no play clock on this field. And it's a false start on Columbus or an illegal formation. In any case, it's a 5-yard penalty, so it's now 3rd and 27. Now the Mustang fans are jamming to Black Eyed Peas. But as I said earlier, there's no play clock on this field. Most high school fields do not have one. So while there is a play clock, the quarterback cannot see it. So that's just another thing they have to keep in mind. Not having the benefit of a play clock to know when to snap the ball or when to kill clock too. But as time goes along and as more exposure and more support heads toward this league, that will change. Martin in the backfield. They hand it to her, and she is stuffed. Maddie Williams with 2 big plays behind the line of scrimmage. First the sack on Davis, and now another tackle for loss. Williams on fire lately, and she single-handedly stops the Columbus drive. Give credit to Williams for stopping that drive really by herself. Now we have a timeout by Columbus early.
Timeout by Lone Star.
Actually, they give it to Lone Star. Well, Lone Star called it. I thought it was Columbus based on how they signaled. But in any case, it's a timeout. Lone Star with the timeout. We want to remind you, you want to order a copy of this, buy online at WFAfootball.com. Martin back to punt. High kick, and it goes deep into Columbus territory. Great punt by Martin, and they will down it close to the 10.
Like having the boys come from her neighborhood to the studio trying to fight me. She need to get a piece of American pie, take her right out. That's my house.
Where my Mustang fans at? Where my Comet fans at?
So again, WFAfootball.com. Find out how you can order a copy of this game. First play of the second half for Lone Star doesn't result in much. Satterwhite had the carry. But Columbus is not about to give anything up.
For Satterwhite, as it to be 2nd down and 12 for the Mustangs.
Another handoff, this time it's to Wakefield. Wakefield a little shaken up. But she gets back. Gets back up. Brings the ball to the 20-yard line. This is full contact if you haven't noticed already, so the players do get banged up just like they do in the NFL. As this quarter is moving right along, I have yet to see a pass from either team. Bushman hands off to Jenkins. Jenkins, she can't get much, but it might be enough for a first down. It was a 3-yard gain. No, it's 4th down. So Lone Star has a situation here. They were deep in their own field before, and they went for it on 4th. It paid off. They had to punt the ball later in that series. It was the first drive of the game after a bad snap on 3rd down. So Lone Star look like they're going to punt, but it's a short 4th, so We'll see what happens. But it looks like they're going to punt. Snap, and it's a fake. Melissa Beach runs to the first down, and she's got it. The Lone Star Mustangs continuing to use their trickery, as you see Beach, even though she's the team's leading receiver, she's also pretty solid in the running game, averaging 12 yards a carry. And she's excited. So the Mustangs using a gadget play, not quite Boise State's hook and lateral or Statue of Liberty, but it fooled the Columbus defense, and Lone Star will keep the ball as they continue to march down the field. They get a fresh set of downs. Boise State game I'm referring to was the 2007 Fiesta Bowl. They used 3 trick plays in that game in a 43-42 win over Oklahoma in overtime. Short pass. And Yo Grant with the reception. I'm not making these names up. Yo Grant is her name. Short gain, about 5 yards. Second and 2 for the Mustangs, and they give it to Wakefield, and Wakefield pushes the ball forward, enough for the first down.
You need to cheer for your team if you want them to get that energy. Make some noise.
That guy reminds me of some street basketball games in there. Hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins trying to push the pile forward, but instead they hold her. Gain of 2. I mentioned we've got a DJ, we've got a lot of music. It has a bit of an urban feel to it for a championship game. Not quite what you'll see in the Super Bowl, but the fans certainly don't mind. As the clock continues to tick in this third quarter. Jenkins pushes the pile forward for a few more yards, and they give her forward progress at the 50. So third down and about 6. Third and 5 as the Mustangs enter Columbus territory. Wishbone formation, split backs. Jenkins again, breaks one tackle, still going, and she fights her way forward for the first down before Deetra Sherwin brings her down. Second effort from Odessa Jenkins benefits the Mustangs. Shades of Adrian Peterson on that run. Not a big gain, but the ability to break those first tackles and turn short gains into decent gains or negative plays into gains as well. So Lone Star likes what they see, so they're going to stick with the split back formation. Our first pass attempt of the game, and it's incomplete, but we have a flag, and it looks like it's going to go against Columbus based on Tiffany Solberger's reaction. Coach isn't happy either. Pass interference and illegal contact. An automatic first down. Well, it's a pass interference call because the contact was illegal. And the ball will be marked at the spot of the foul. And Solberger was not looking for the ball.
Comets and Mustangs, make some noise, y'all.
If you don't look for the ball and go right after the defender or receiver, it's an automatic pass interference call. They're going to get you every time. Satterwhite to the 35, stutter steps, and gets a few more yards before she's brought down to the 33. Second down. Second and 5. Lone Star eating a lot of clock on this drive, giving their defense time to rest. Jenkins with the handoff. And Sherwin brings her down with the assistance of Shelly Gates. And Jenkins, when he gets to the 34. And it looks like Sherwin is down. In her 8th season out of Cleveland, Ohio. And Sherwin's banged up. Columbus will take an injury timeout here. So we'll remind you again, go to WFAfootball.com to get your DVD copy of the championship
Mustang
game.
and Comet fans, y'all kind of quiet. Y'all need to cheer your team on. Make sure you get your chuck of duck.
Oh yes, and the Yuppie Duck contest. Start up here about a little 1 minute here. Last chance to get your Yuppie Duck on.
One of these teams will want a highlight reel, I'm guessing. Jenkins pushes through to the 30, still fighting. And she gets to the 25. Jenkins, stubborn, another first down run from Odessa Jenkins. We're going to share more of her story coming up in the next quarter. But Jenkins just continuing to fight, refusing to go down. So they spot it at the 24 as we get close to the end of the quarter. Lone Star continuing their split back formation. Jenkins trying to pass, in trouble, gets out of it and avoids a sack and gets down all the way to the 10. That was Bushman under pressure, found a hole, and she turns what would have been a sack into a first down. A great play by Bushman. That will end the third quarter. You see Bushman averaging 8.9 yards a carry. Lone Star having a lot of players that can run the ball. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Don't go away, anyone. This will be an exciting finish, 12-8 Columbus.
Comet fans, make some noise.
We start the fourth quarter in the 2010 WFA National Championship. Columbus leads 12-8, but Lone Star is driving here in Las Vegas. To recap the scoring, not a lot of it, but this game is fun nonetheless. We have one more column to fill, and we'll take care of that now as we start the fourth. First and goal for the Mustangs. Bushman keeps it herself, doesn't get far. 3-yard loss on the play with the tackle is Christy Sabatucci from Finleyville, Pennsylvania. It looked like that play was designed, but it did not work well for the Mustangs. Columbus looking to make a goal line stand here. Again, first, it's second and goal. Jenkins doesn't get far. To the 6-yard line, it looks like. So 5 yards, that will be third and goal now.
Down to about the 7-yard line, 6-yard line, looks like. Gain of 5 yards for Jenkins.
There you see the third down marker.
Gain of about 4 yards.
Nothing fancy, just flip the card. Don't have a dial-a-down system here. Jenkins with a handoff again. Cuts right and is close to the goal line, but just short. And that brings up 4th down, as you can see. 4th and goal. Since Lone Star does not use a kicking game, I would guess they will go for it here. Well, even if they did kick a field goal, they'd still be down. And they don't want to trail. They want the lead. 2 yards to Paydirt. Lone Star with a lot of running backs available. Jenkins, the big one. But Bushman not afraid to run the ball herself either. They go to Jenkins. Jenkins will try to turn the corner. But great coverage from the Columbus Comets keeps her from crossing the goal line. And the ball is turned over on downs at the 1-yard line. No one on Columbus was fooled. They all go left, and not even Jenkins can get past that wall. So Columbus with the goal line stand. Unfortunately, they get the ball back at their own 1-yard line. So, well, you stop Columbus, and now they're pinned as we have Tiffany Solberger down. Solberger from Columbus, Ohio. She's hurt. They have another player injured as well, or stretching, and she gets back up. That's Deetra Sherwin. But Solberger's still down, so we'll remind you again, WFAfootball.com. Order your DVD of this championship game, and why wouldn't you after that goal line stand? They're still working on Solberger. So here's the situation. Columbus with the goal line stand gets the ball back, but at their own 1-yard line, so you stop Lone Star from scoring, and as your reward, you're going to be pinned deep in your own territory and right at your own end zone. So Columbus has to be careful, or they could give up a safety and a free kick, and it could work out even better for Lone Star than had they scored. Quarterback keeper, Columbus just trying to get some space, a little breathing room. And they have the running backs to do it. As you see on the screen, look at that. All those yards, 3 of their running backs averaging more than 10 yards a carry. Columbus Comets deep in the running back position. Stevens with the most carries, Martin with the most yards, but it doesn't really matter. They have running backs that can get some space and get yards, and they're going to need that. Otherwise, they're going to give the ball up with great field position back to Lone Star, even if they do punt it off. And that was close. That was a handoff, I believe. It was Shelly Gates, and she was hit in the end zone. Does get back out, but Columbus not doing themselves any favors. They get the ball just outside the goal line, but Lone Star doing what they need to do. And you see Davis not going to the shotgun either, taking no chances of a bad snap turning into a safety. Handing it off to Gates again, and Gates won't get far. There's a little scrum. Lone Star thought they might have had a fumble recovery. 2-yard gain on the play, but no first down, and Columbus will have to punt inside their own end zone, and Martin's going to be pinned right to the end of it. So Lone Star is going to get great field position. Well, not the greatest response to a goal line stand, and Columbus, they're going to have to work again deep in their own territory on defense. Martin gets the kickoff, but it's a short one, and it's fielded by 16, Casey Ray Tribble, and she brings the ball out to the 15, so only a 12-yard net gain on the punt. So Lone Star will start in the red zone again. That's the downside of not getting a first down and getting some space. Lone Star, once again, breathing down Columbus's neck. So a little more about Odessa Jenkins. She had a sister, Kimberly, who grew her family, but her husband was murdered in 1997. So Kimberly's family lived in inner city Los Angeles until Jenkins was awarded a Division I scholarship to play at California State University Polytechnic. And then her family migrated to the central coast of California. We'll get more on that in a second. It's a handoff to Wakefield for a short gain. And Odessa said she could drive her family from poverty, needed a vessel, and sports was it, but it was basketball and not football when she first broke into the athletic scene. She said, when I arrived at Cal Poly, I knew that there was something bigger and better than what we had experienced in Los Angeles. The story continues from there. We'll get to that in a second. Speaking of Jenkins, it's a handoff to her as she turns the corner inside the 10. Touchdown, Lone Star! Jenkins making it look easy again. Her second touchdown run of the night, a 15-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Mustangs fans make some noise.
And almost on cue, Jenkins once again runs it in. So that will give Lone Star the lead back, and the way things are going, it could be a big lead, and it could make the difference between who wins this game, with Columbus not making their two-point conversion so far being the difference. Lone Star up by 2, and they're going to go for it. Why not? Quick pass and complete. Two-point conversion successful. We have a flag on the play. Etta Maytubby with the reception. The two-point conversion should stand. Lone Star certainly acting like it, so it looks like this flag will be going up against Columbus. A personal foul against Columbus, so the penalty will be enforced at the kickoff. So more on Jenkins' story. Jenkins graduated from Cal Poly. She tried a couple professional jobs, then landed a management position at Medco Health Solutions. Then Jenkins and her longtime partner, they were married in a private ceremony in California, and I imagine they'll want a copy of this game, and they can go to WFAfootball.com to find out how. You can also get the highlight reels and find out how your team can get their very own highlight reel as well. So I imagine Jenkins and her partner will want a copy of this, with Odessa getting 2 rushing touchdowns here tonight. They're married in a private ceremony in California. And then Jenkins moved her family to Dallas. Jenkins became the guardian of Kimberly's 6 minor children. They reside in Fort Worth, nearby Dallas. And Jenkins is committing to driving Kimberly's children to be the best they can be. He says, if I love, lead, educate, and train them, they will love, lead, educate, and train others. A great story for Jenkins. And a great performance by her tonight so far. 2 rushing touchdowns and a pass deflection as well. Big rushing night for her. Columbus looking to make a mark of their own here, but not on that kick return. Ivy Ortman couldn't find any holes to run through. So Columbus will start deep in their own territory at the 15. The goal line stand, all for naught, as Columbus was unable to get outside their own end zone. They had to punt from it. Texas started at the 15, or Lone Star started at the 15. And well, 15 yards isn't hard to make, not with Odessa Jenkins behind you. So Columbus will have to take the lead back. They trailed earlier It was 8-6 before Columbus scored. And now that touchdown that was called back in the second quarter to holding that Columbus was not able to make up is coming into play, in addition to the extra points that they've missed. Stevens with the ball. And she gets to the 20-yard line before being dragged down by Jennifer Hull. Lone Star capitalizing on their point afters. Columbus, a missed extra point kick and a deflected 2-point attempt. It wouldn't make a difference at this point as it stands, but it would certainly have increased Columbus's options had they made even just one. So they can't get a field goal. They're going to have to get a touchdown to get that lead back. Stevens gets close to the 25-yard line and close to the first down marker.
Rally behind your team.
Good enough, the referees say. Columbus gets a first down. Columbus also working against the clock, although as you can see on the screen, they still have a lot of time to move the ball downfield. And they have all their timeouts available, plus the 2-minute warning. So this game's not over yet. Stevens runs into her own player, gets to the 29-yard line with the tackle. Jennifer Hull again. She's having a big day on defense in the tackle department. 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Like to give credit to these great shots we're getting from Aardvark Video, a video production company in Los Angeles, providing the telecast of today's game in high definition. That's right, the WFA can go high def too. 2nd and 6. Davis throws and it's dropped. Aisha Jones, the intended receiver. 3rd down and 6. And we have a flag coming in late.
Pass intended for number 2, Aisha Jones, comes to play by number 3, Odessa Jenkins.
Well, let's see how this flag changes things.
3rd down and 6, ball remains on the 29-yard line.
It looks like it's going to go against Columbus. The referee's discussing things with Lone Star, so it's going to be a long 3rd down situation perhaps for the Comets. Illegal procedure against Columbus. Lone Star accepts the penalty, so it will be 2nd and 11 instead of 3rd down and 6. 2nd down penalties are always tricky because you either push them back a few more yards or you make it 1 down away from perhaps punting. Always a tricky call. We'll see if it pays off. Davis in trouble, and it paid off in big dividends. She is sacked for the 3rd time tonight. This time, KB Bowman comes in there.
82, Danielle Jersey Arcolano. 10 yards of play. It's going to be 2nd down and 3rd down and 21.
So a long 3rd down now. And Lone Star taking advantage when they penetrate those gaps. Davis, screen pass to Martin, but Martin is not going to be close to the first down. She gets past the original line of scrimmage. Long 4th down here, and now Columbus has a decision to make.
yards of the play by number 4, Jennifer Holt.
And by all means, it's a tough one. Less than 6 minutes to go. The clock is still ticking. Columbus still has all of their timeouts. So we'll see what happens here. They're going to go for it here on 4th. They have about 8 yards to go. It's a play action. Davis in trouble, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Lone Star takes the ball over on downs in their own territory. I should say in Columbus territory. And the clock stops for change of possession. We'll see how that decision plays out. Because if they punted, they would have at least had time. Or further distance. Push back the Mustangs a bit, but instead they took a gamble. It did not pay off, and Lone Star takes the ball over at the 32-yard line.
Ellington said he needs to pump up the Comets, y'all.
So Columbus is going to have to hold the line once more. They had the goal line stand, but they need to hold the line if they're going to have any shot at winning this national championship. Satterwhite looking for a hole. Tries to turn the corner. Won't get there. As the Comets gang up on her. So a 2-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 12 for Columbus, or Lone Star.
Y'all make some noise for the girls.
It's a good situation for Columbus, though. 5 minutes left.
Trying to get y'all amped up to cheer for your team.
2nd and 10, and now the clock stops. Columbus will use their second timeout. I thought they had all 3, but they only have 2 remaining. Now they're down to 1. Lone Star, we see their running backs not as deep as Columbus, but they can still do a lot of damage. You know about Jenkins, Satterwhite averaging 8.5 yards a carry. We saw Bushman earlier, Stephanie Wakefield averaging nearly 8 yards a carry.
Y'all got to keep the energy up if you want your team to bring home that championship. Who wanted more?
And one of the DJs trying to keep the fans excited. I don't know why you would. I don't know if there's really a need. There's been plenty of support, but anything that fires up the crowd, I suppose.
Who will it be? Who got the hyper crowd? Who's going to keep their team amped up? I don't hear y'all. Where y'all at? Coming to Mustangs, where
and
you
one
at?
thing, they talk about fan support, and it's a big deal, but you wonder, with the players going out on the field, we're not talking the Superdome here, how much the crowd impacts the game. We've had maybe 1 false start penalty. We've had a couple offside penalties. Interesting dynamic, but the fans loving it here. Bushman in trouble. Gets out of it, and she turns what would have been a sack into a gain. Columbus timed the snap beautifully, but they were unable to get their hands on Bushman behind the line of scrimmage, and she runs the ball for positive yards. Lone Star content to run the ball, I imagine. I don't see them making any passes or doing anything that will stop the clock. They have the lead. They would love to ice this one, but they know all they have to do is kill clock and make it that much harder for the Comets to strike. Bushman handing it off. That's Wakefield. Wakefield gets a few more yards. To the 10, so that will be enough for a first down. And that's big at this late stage of the game, because that gives the Mustangs the ability to eat more clock. And it's at the 11-yard line, just outside the 10. And why is that important? It means the Lone Star can get a first down without scoring. So all they have to do is get the ball to the 1 to burn more clock. Handing it to Satterwhite. Satterwhite, short gain. But that's fine for Lone Star, as you see the clock, just over 3 minutes remaining. Second down, if you didn't figure it out by now. Second and 8. The Mustangs continuing to take their time, and they will take as much as they can afford. Split backs. That formation's worked well for them in the second half. They go to Jenkins. Jenkins wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. So third down play, and perhaps the crucial third down play. The clock will stop for the 2-minute warning. Tiffany Solberger looked like she got a hand in there.
Loss of 2 yards in the play.
Columbus only has 1 timeout remaining as well. And it looks like Lone Star will wait for the 2-minute warning. And we have hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left. And we'd like to remind you one more time, go to WFAfootball.com, order your copy of the National Championship game. This has been a great contest, maybe not the high-scoring assault coming in that a lot of folks expected, but still tight, close, intense, emotional, aggressive, nerve-wracking, whatever adjective you can think of.
You need to cheer your team on to victory.
So Lone Star needs to get the ball to the 1. That would presumably ice the game because Columbus only has 1 timeout left. If they cannot, Columbus, if they get a stop, could call a timeout. Then either Lone Star tries to kick it or go for it on 4th down. Then would have about 1:40 left to make something happen. Satterwhite going for it. Trying to get to the first down. She won't be close. She gets to the 5. And we have a late flag. That could be huge. We'll check the marker. If it's against Columbus, that should seal the game. No, the flag has been picked up. No penalty. But that stops the clock. So a bit of a break for Columbus. Lone Star will go for it here on 4th down. They know they just need to get the ball past the 1 to seal the game.
What he said, make sure you pick up your trash and throw it in the trash can, y'all. Pick up your trash and throw it in the trash can. It's not hard.
1:49 left. Bushman looking to throw, and it's dropped. Yo Grant had a hand on it. She couldn't bring it down. And Columbus will have one more chance with 1 timeout left. Here's another look. Grant got a hand on it, it looked like, but she just couldn't bring it in what would have been the clincher. Columbus, one more chance. They have 1 timeout left. We are past the 2-minute mark. So Columbus will look to try to get the ball out of bounds, but they'll need to drive 95 yards. A field goal is not good enough. They need a touchdown. And again, these quarterbacks don't have the arms of Brett Favre or Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers or whatever star quarterback you can think of. So this march could be long, and it's not a good start, but we've got a flag. and it looks like it will go against Lone Star. Casey Ray Tribble looking surprised. I don't think she likes the call. She's pleading with the ref, so I'm thinking this is going to go against Lone Star. Yes, pass interference, a big break for the Comets. They get an automatic first down, ball placed at the spot of the foul, and the clock stops. Deep shotgun for Davis. Looks like Columbus is going to throw from here on out. Another pass complete, but it unable to get out of bounds. Whitney Barnes from Fredericktown, Ohio makes the catch. And Lone Star content to give up as many yards as they want as long as they keep Columbus in bounds, trying to force them to burn that timeout or go into the hurry up. Chains are set. First down again. Davis continuing in deep shotgun. Another pass complete to Barnes. And it's good enough for another first down. But again, unable to get out of bounds. So Columbus continuing to hurry up. Now they call their final timeout with 1:01 left. That's it. They only have a minute now. And they cannot stop the clock on their own anymore. They still have a long distance to go.
Know that Mustangs is hungry for it. Am I right? Mustangs, y'all hungry for it? Comets,
the highest scoring team in the league in danger of losing.
We got just over a minute left in this championship game. Who will it be? The Columbus Comets or the Lone Star Mustangs?
We talked about Columbus's defense as well, giving up 5 points per game coming into tonight. They've given up 16. Not their most of the season, as you saw earlier, giving up 31 to West Michigan, but the outlier when you have 6 regular season shutouts. Now they're in danger. They 62 yards. Davis throws again, and it's complete. And Aisha Jones takes herself out of bounds at the 46. Another first down, 54 yards to go. Columbus needs to continue bringing that ball out of bounds. Davis will throw again, and it's picked off! Odessa Jenkins with the 2 rushing touchdowns, and it's only fitting that she provides the interception that will clinch the national championship for the Lone Star Mustangs. One more look. Her 4th interception of the season and the biggest interception of the year as Columbus was driving. Odessa Jenkins, we talked about her all game. A great story. She had a rough upbringing in the Watts projects in Los Angeles. Lost her oldest brother to a drive-by shooting. Lost her brother-in-law to a murder in Los Angeles. But found a way to overcome those adversities. Now she lives in Fort Worth. Got a scholarship for Cal State Poly in basketball. Now continues with football and works at Medco Health Solutions. And there's the ice bucket. There it is. Lone Star knows it. A couple more kneel downs and that will seal it. Oh, great story for Jenkins. And again, only fitting that she gets the game-winning interception. As you saw on the screen, we will have the trophy presentation and naming of the team MVPs. We don't just have one, we have 2. I have a feeling Jenkins will get the MVP for Lone Star. Columbus, I'm not sure, but both these teams put up a great game. This is exactly the kind of game that everyone came out to see. That's the final kneel down. And it is now official. The Lone Star Mustangs are the 2010 champions of the Women's Football Alliance.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And they finished the season with an 11-0 record and remained the only team to finish the season undefeated. They are the last man standing, so to speak. 16-12, the final score. We will have trophy presentations and the team MVPs coming up, but this was a great game for everyone here at Aardvark Video and TSB Television. I'm Mike Peden. We'll show you the presentations, but we're going to take it to the field to find out who are the MVPs and to present the winning trophy to the Lone Star Mustangs. There you see it one more time. Go to WFAfootball.com and find out how you can get a copy of this game. I know Lone Star will want one.
This is dedicated to the Lone Star Mustangs. WFA Championship.
And the handshake.
2010.
As we mentioned, these players are courteous. They're not going to fight each other. They respect each other. They're all here for one reason, for the love of American football. What a tremendous game, though. Not a high-flying assault. We didn't see a 51-50 final, but good enough anyway. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Trophy presentations coming up next here on the WFA Championship game.
Mustang fans, show your team some love, y'all. Show them some love. Let them know they had a great season. Hey, yo, Mustangs, party with me and Baby Chino. Say what? Hey, yo, Mustangs, y'all know what to do when they say it. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Say what? Say what?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to first announce the MVPs, the most valuable players for this game tonight. Our first MVP from the Columbus Comets goes to number 11, quarterback Crystal Davis.
Davis with a touchdown pass tonight, and perhaps the play of the game was the touchdown call back via a holding penalty. Obviously the interception was big too, but Columbus might be thinking about that holding penalty that could have made the difference.
Okay, and our
between the
second
championship and second
MVP presentation. Going to the Lone Star Mustangs, she came up with the interception at the end of the game. Number 3, running back Odessa Jenkins.
And as expected, Jenkins with the Lone Star MVP award, and
Congratulations, Crystal
very deserving.
and Odessa. as
2
our
rushing touchdowns, 1 interception,
most
the
valuable
game-winning
players.
interception. I don't think anyone's going to complain about the MVP award selection here. And now the trophy presentation.
Okay, and on to the presentation of our championship trophies here. First off, representing the National Conference, our National Conference champions goes to the Columbus Comets. And head coach, Hank Patterson. And our second championship presentation. They were the American Conference champions, and now they're the 2010 WFA National Champions. Let's give a hand for the Lone Star Mustangs. Our Direction head coach, Mike Ellington.
Congratulations once again to the Lone Star Mustangs. That will do it for the 2010 season.
Teams out there tonight, the Columbus
The action starts next April. You will see me again calling Minnesota Machine games for the 2011 season. And hopefully we'll be with you next year for the 2011 WFA National Championship. But this was a great time. I had a great time. For everyone here, Aardvark Video and TSB Television, Mike Beaton saying so long, everyone.